Hello, Cynthia.
Hey, how's it going, Jen? Welcome to the Marketing Duo podcast, the podcast where marketing experts Cynthia of Digital Bloom IQ and Jen of Jen Vasquez Media come together to share their wealth of knowledge and insights on scaling your business.
Each episode, Cynthia and Jen dive into the latest marketing strategies, mindset shifts, and also growth tactics specifically designed for ambitious female founders who are tech savvy and eager to enhance their marketing game.
Whether you're looking to fine-tune your approach or discover innovative ways to accelerate your business, the Marketing Duo podcast provides actionable tips and inspiring conversations to help you reach your goals.
Tune in for a blend of practical advice and empowering discussions tailored to help you thrive in the ever-evolving digital landscape. It's going great. How's it going for you?
It's good. I have a little topic that I got, kind of lit up by, and I wanted to chat with you. So I've been asked many times in interviews and with clients and whatever, my course students, is when should I start and when should I invest in my SEO? And I wanted to open up that question even broader to obviously encompass Pinterest, but even when should I start doing, when should I invest? And when I say invest, it could be hiring it out, but it could also be, just doing SEO more intentionally for yourself, whether it's learning it and that. So I want to talk about timing, right? Timing of marketing, timing of Pinterest, timing of SEO. And what do you think? What do you think is the right time? Because we have so many fronts as business owners, right? Of what do I need to be investing in next?
Yeah, that's a dicey question. I mean, I can give you 8,000 answers on that. But I think generally speaking, and we'll of course have a conversation about this, but generally speaking, I always feel like it's the right time to outsource your Pinterest, right? I think everyone should be working on Pinterest and everyone should be working on SEO. That's my personal opinion. But you could go purchasing your SEO course or one of my memberships.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. I don't think that's what we're talking about because that's an investment in education, which again, we should all be doing in our business, but every quarter it might be something different that you're focusing on, right?
Yeah.
So for the purposes of tightening this up, I would say that for outsourcing in particular, for Pinterest in particular, if you don't have a blog, you do not need to be outsourcing. And I'm going to put that out there. There's a lot of Pinterest managers that will work with someone without a blog. And you can pin lead magnets and your content and you don't have content, but your services and things like that. You can pin a lot of stuff, your YouTube podcast, whatever you have going on. But really the magic with Pinterest is having a blog. So I just want to put out there, forget if you're ready to invest. If you don't have a blog, it might not be the right time. Now I have clients who hire me with no blog, but it's only because their plans are to start a blog immediately, right?
It has to go hand in hand sort of thing.
Yeah. And then if we're talking about the financial side, when do you think a business is ready to outsource this because it is an investment? I would say there's two things that you want to look at. And one would be your financial situation, either with your business or if you're going to be investing because I have a lot of people who invest their money up front when they're starting a business. That's not as normal. That's not typical, but that has happened for us. But you obviously need to be able to afford that in your budget of your business, or you shouldn't be outsourcing, right? In terms of Pinterest, I would never borrow money to outsource Pinterest because it takes so much time. I don't know that I would recommend that.
Yeah.
I might for SEO though, for building a new website or something that's a very integral piece, right? Yeah. And secondly, you have to be ready to let it go. And there's a lot of people that don't. maybe want to let it go. Like
There's the mindset piece of it.
yeah, when you can do Pinterest, it's a matter of if you want to allow that to be part of what you're responsible for, or you can outsource that so you can spend more time being the public face and marketing or social media or whatever else you're doing. So it would be a time issue too. If you're looking to save time in your day so you can be more present with your kids, or so you could be spending more time in other areas of the business, outsourcing, that would be a great time to outsource. So financial, but also time, I think, be what I would say.
Yeah, I love all that. I would also add in, well, it's kind of what you said too, like what industry are you in? Like if you're service-based, like if you're a coach, it might be, the recommendation might be slightly different if you are e-commerce, like if you're selling a product. I recently talked to someone who was an e-commerce business and they were really doubting kind of like SEO. And I was like, look, your website is how you make money. Versus if you're a coach, I mean, you can make money from your website, as a coach with courses, and obviously you can do SEO. Like I have worked with coaches who we've done SEO and it's been great. But I think actually for an e-commerce business who's like literally selling from their site, like making money from their site, like SEO is like bread and butter. Like if you're not showing up for your product, then and to me, and this is controversial, like, whatever, controversial in what we do. I don't even think it can be, but like, I believe like conversion rate optimization. So making sure that your product page is converting, making sure that people are signing up for your newsletter, that is part of SEO. Because to me, if you're not able to get a return on your investment on your marketing, then you have to ask like, why are you investing in that marketing? So I know not all marketing, and I had this conversation all the time with my clients, like not all the marketing that's going to attract traffic is the one that's going to end up making the sales. So you might use SEO to attract the traffic, then they sign up, for your newsletter, and then they buy a week later or a month later or whatever, through your emails. But yeah, I feel like the industry, like in what industry you're in, will change what marketing you invest in. And of course, there's exceptions. The other thing I want to say, which is kind of what you were saying, is like, where do you want to be spending your time? And I've had clients who are like, I love doing SEO, like I'm a therapist or I'm and I've had clients that nerd out with me and they become actually really good at SEO and they enjoy it. And then I have other clients who don't enjoy it and they're very clear on that. And they know eventually they'll hire it out, but they learn enough to do it themselves.
To get more money in their business so that they can afford to outsource it. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I just think one way or another, figure out how to take action, whether it's outsourcing it to your VA or having, like, I've had clients who work with interns or like, I don't know, like if you can just have someone help you or learn some of the basics for yourself. I think that's the other part. Maybe it happens with Pinterest too, Jen. Like they think they need to learn all the things. And it's like, no, just learn like a little bit to get it going. And then later you can decide how much more you want to invest.
Yeah. And I think SEO and Pinterest are different in that I feel like SEO is really required. Like whether it's you or someone else, you have to do that for your website. Like you really just do. If you want to book people off your website, which most people do. But with Pinterest, I would say like I have had people who come to me who aren't on Pinterest, but they know that it drives traffic. And that's the piece that they need for their marketing because they've already spent money on their website and SEO and it's converting, right? It's ready to convert. So now they just need to add that traffic. I've also had people who come to me because their Pinterest is going like gangbusters and it's driving so much traffic. And they're like, I'm spending so much time and money on Instagram, but Pinterest is the one who's driving all the traffic. Why am I spending my money and my time over here? Not that you shouldn't. You definitely want a presence on Instagram. But it is really, really important to know what your goals are, and have whatever you're outsourcing be what's going to help you get to that goal. In other words, having a great website is awesome. Having Pinterest driving traffic is awesome, but you really do need to know what your business goals are. If your business goals are to get more leads because you didn't book as many clients maybe as you wanted the first, we're in the third quarter now or second quarter now already, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But if you want to do that, and that's really a high priority for you. Or I get a lot of people who want to grow their email list, right? They're starting to do email on a weekly basis and they know that it's helpful and effective and tends to be where 15 to 20% of sales are if you have a good email going. Pinterest is great for that, right? Like Pinterest is really good at driving traffic, and if a freebie gets people on your email list so that then you can nurture and sell to them, that's great. But I do believe that you need to look at your business goals. You need to look at where you want to spend your time, or like you said, you can have contractors help or whatever, but both SEO and Pinterest require a strategy that works for you and your business and your lifestyle and how much time you have to give to it. And if you don't have that time to give to it, or you prioritize time with your family maybe over that extra work, you do need it to market your business. So you gotta, you have to make the money also to be able to do it, because there is nothing worse than investing good amount of money in outsourcing a piece of your marketing and not being able to do it after 4 or 5 months. And then it feels like it's a waste.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a waste because it actually improved your information. All the things on Pinterest are still going to be driving traffic forever, right, to your website. And when you do SEO, it's improving your website to help with those conversions and help getting new eyeballs on your content, right? Both of those do that. It's important, but you need to know if it's important enough to invest. And if you're going to invest, I would say be prepared to invest for a good 6 months to get really good results. Like 3 months, at least for Pinterest, is not, it's going to help you. You're going to have your Pinterest really polished and, ready and bringing in. But if you don't continue that on your own, that may not work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. I say now, like I used to say 6 months, like our contracts, our retainers are minimum 6 months. But really the SEO results, like you'll see SEO results in 6 months. I would say most of our clients see SEO results in 3 months.
Yeah.
However, return on investment doesn't usually happen till the 12-month mark.
Yeah, the year mark. Same thing. I have someone that has been with me for 5 years now. And she was like, I'm so happy I stayed because I don't have to do any marketing and sending people to my website and getting booked. And she's an attorney. She doesn't want to do the marketing at all.
Right.
And that's the one that she identified that is really helpful for her. So, yeah. And I will also say that there is a piece of mindset. So there's people that I've spoken to like in consultation calls, and they love the idea. They really want to do it. It is an investment. So they want to think about the investment, which of course makes sense that you want to be smart in your business decisions. But I've had people who decide, oh, I can't do it right now. It's too scary, or I don't want to go all in on this, or, orders are slowing down. So I don't want to, people booking me is slowing down. So I don't think I want to commit, because our commitment is 4 months and we're moving it to 6 months for obvious reasons. And so I think that you also have to have a little bit of a mindset of, okay, I'm going to go into this as an investment, and I know that it's going to take time, but I also know that that's what my business needs, and to be really confident in that as well. Because there could be, many times that people will be all excited to work with us, and then the next day they're like, oh, I think I'm going to wait, or I'll check back in 6 months, and
Yeah.
part of that, I think, is mindset. When you're so excited in the moment, and you know this is what your business needs, and then suddenly you're out, it's typically a mindset thing sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to remember these are businesses, and any size business, everybody needs to be doing marketing, like any type of just getting your business out there. Like if you're doing this for a hobby, great. I salute you. Awesome.
Enjoy.
Go for it, but if this is something you want to like live from, make money from, it's not even about the money. It's like that impact, right? Because I feel like when it's a hobby, like that pressure it's just a different intention. It's like just like a self thing. Like it's just about me. I actually did a story today. I was like, don't think about yourself. Think about the audience you want to help, right? Like, I don't know. I got kind of like,
that is true actually, because if you're trying to sell to people, you want to talk about them and what they're going to see from it, not how great you are coming from you. It doesn't really work that well. And a lot of business owners, they think, oh, I'm going to do a website. If you build it, they will come. That doesn't happen. I mean, it really doesn't happen. You have to share that information and share your knowledge in whatever way, emails, blogs, social media, it doesn't really matter. You have to share, and you have to share often.
Yes.
In order to get new eyeballs on your business, like how you help them.
Yeah.
So
and all businesses need marketing. Like, again, if we look at big businesses, they're spending millions, billions of dollars on their marketing, and they're spending it. It's really helpful to think about the scale of it, because when you run your own business, it's literally like your time, your like blood, sweat, and tears, if you will, like your energy, like human, energy. That's your investment, right? That's what you do at the beginning, or, even throughout. But like big businesses that have budgets, and like obviously they pay people to do things, they invest, and they know they might fail. They know that this might not work out, but they're still investing. They're moving forward, because when you also fail, you learn, and you're like, okay, that didn't work, but what if we tweaked it this way? And I honestly have never invested in anything that I've really regretted, because even if it wasn't a good fit, I learned so much from it, and it moved me forward one way or another.
I think that's taking action, right?
Yes, like the people who hold themselves back and they play small, it's like you're just slowing down your success. And I'm not saying going and like getting into debt, or, doing something, if you will, like irresponsible, if you want to say.
Yeah.
But I am saying what's going to move you forward, right? And that fear and that risk, like that's a good sign. That means you're on the right track.
Yeah. And it's not to say to just make a split decision.
Yes.
Like, we're not saying like, okay, just dive in and do it. Like, it is a commitment in terms of time. First of all, when you outsource, you're spending a lot of time with the person you're outsourcing to, letting them know who you are and what you do and how you do it and all the things. Like, it is a lot of work for both, for the business, but also for us that people outsource to. The first 3 months are like the most work we will ever do. And, and then we've got that system down, and then we're doing the ongoing maintenance part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like, when you decide you're going to outsource, you have to sort of be all in.
Yeah.
Not just contractually, but mentally.
Yeah.
And also you have to do all the things that help for the person you outsource to do. Like for me, like actually publishing blogs and, putting out content that I can then share wide and far with so many people. So I think it is always a scary decision, but I also believe that it's when you get to the point in your business where you have sort of a consistent revenue coming in. So you have kind of like a baseline of revenue that's coming into your business, and you're able to forecast in terms of, I've got this person, they're on contract, they're going to be like, figure out the finances for sure before you outsource, because when you're in a contract, you're in that contract no matter what's going on, like in business. So I think it is important to consider it, to really think it through, maybe talk to your accountant, all those things. But if you know that that's the piece that either you don't have time for because it's important, or that you don't want to do, right? Like let's put it out there. If it's not something that you love, you probably don't want to be doing it. And I want to throw in this piece too of, when you outsource, the company that you're outsourcing to, you're probably outsourcing because they're an expert in that area. One would assume. I think that would be important to know, right? Like, so when you outsource, like for me, for Pinterest, I can get way more done in a super short period of time for a client that would take them all day, let alone just learning how to do it. But even after they know how to do it, to be doing it on a weekly basis, right? So we actually can get more work done in less time, and we have that lens of being an expert. And so if something's not working, we know the 3 or 4 other things that we can try to make that work. Like we're not having to go to like YouTube University as if you were doing it on your own and say, okay, this is not working, right?
It's an art and a science, right? Like I always have people come to me and they're like, oh, so it's just putting these words on your site. I'm like, yes and no. I mean, maybe. It's like, well, if it was that easy, then I probably wouldn't have a business around this, right? There is definitely an art to it, right? And there's nuance to it, and that's why we have clients that work with us ongoing, right? But it's kind of hard to explain. I would say, depending on the industry, different clients understand the nuance better than others. I love my lawyers because they treat us with the utmost respect, and they really treat us like experts, versus there's some other industries where it's like, oh, it's just like you make updates to the site. And it's like, well, I mean, sort of.
And let's just talk about this right now. I mean, this is the topic, right? And we both are search marketing platforms, right? Google, YouTube, Pinterest, like they're all search marketing platforms. And we talk about keywords. Keywords change. They could change every month or two, even. Now, there's some keywords maybe that are going to be like for years.
Consistent,
But part of what Cynthia, and I'm making assumptions for you, but part of what Cynthia...
They're probably great assumptions.
Part of what Cynthia and I do is we're not just doing the same old thing every week. Which a lot of times you do when it's just for your own business. You just have this plan and this is what you do, and you do it every week and whatever. Just like I'm sure Cynthia does, we're constantly evaluating what the performance is and how we can get the best performance as soon as possible, because search marketing takes time. And so we're very focused on making sure that you are successful with your industry, your business, on whatever we're doing for you, like Google, and for me, Pinterest. But it's very nuanced in that we're constantly updating all of that information. And most people don't, which is why when you outsource for SEO and for Pinterest, you tend to get way better results because you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
But we do.
Exactly.
And when changes happen, we're poised to make that switch right away. When Pinterest makes a change and they went from idea pins to no idea pins anymore, just videos, people were still talking about idea pins 4 years later because nobody knew, right? So I think that, having an expert work on your stuff and having you outsource that is smart, in that you have someone who's doing this day in, day out, where for you, it might be 1 hour a week that you're working on this. Right. So you tend to, you can tend to like fix things before sometimes even that they break, because you
Yeah.
know what's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. So moral of the story, I guess, it's a very personal decision when you decide to invest in these things. There could be some, some general recommendations, but I've never point blank said only invest in SEO once your site's been up. Like I had a client once, they hired us a year before they launched a site and we did their whole SEO
How
strategy.
smart is that?
Yeah,
Like that's
and
smart.
so I don't know when exactly the right time is, but Jen's, like you said, like what's going to move the needle for you, and what is your long-term strategy? What's your short-term? What's relevant and correct for your industry? And sometimes looking at other competitors and looking at what they're doing can be helpful. And then like what also lights you up, and like I don't know what inspires you. I think that's also totally valid.
And we both have, like, you have courses, I have memberships where we teach people to do that.
Mhm.
I've heard this and I like repeat it all the time because I think it's so smart. You can learn something and take the slow way around it. Totally okay. You can totally do that. And just know that the results are going to be farther
Yeah.
off, I would say, than maybe working with an expert. So that's possible. You either have money or you have time.
Yeah.
If you have the money, you can outsource it, that's saving you time.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money, then you need to spend the time getting educated, learning all about it, and asking the questions that you need to ask. So it's time or money. That's something to consider when you're looking to outsource
It's
too.
good. No, it's good. Yeah, it's kind of it's beautiful, right? And again, you're running a business, right? So you need to think about how are you going to invest, and yeah, is it time or your money? But one way or another, you need to do something, right? And you can't just wait.
Yes.
You can't just wait for people to like it. Just I laugh when people are like, "Well, no one found me." It's like, okay, but what are you doing to get out there, right? And like, they're not just going to find you.
Or on
Even
consultation calls, they'll like, well, I'll go ahead and I'll call you back in 6 months. Like I'll put this off in 6 months. But that's just 6 months later for
yeah,
getting the results if you're not doing anything, right?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was a good question, though, because people don't know when it's time. And I've heard other experts say, well, it's when you're scaling that you should be
Mhm.
investing in
Yeah.
that, or when it, and all of those could be
Yeah.
true. But it does, again, it comes back to what are your business goals? How important is it for you to get found? Because we're both search marketing stuff. Right? How important is it to get found? And do you have the finances to do it? And if you don't have the finances to do it, but you do think it's important for your business, then get some education, course or membership or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We both offer these. So like if you, I guess the headline here is, even if you're not ready to outsource it, you still need to be doing it. And I
Exactly. That's
think
what I
that's
wanna say, like, if
nice.
you're not ready to, for whatever reason, if it's a money thing or if it's a just feels off thing, you still need to take action on it. Like, it's kinda like, I don't know, anything in life, like, if you can't, I don't know, if you don't wanna take out the trash, you still need to delegate that, right? You don't want I don't know if that's
You
the
don't
right
want trash
analogy,
building up
but
in your kitchen like my full garbage right now in my kitchen. I'm gonna wait till my husband comes home to take it out. But I'm just saying, like,
Like,
yeah,
you
it
can
needs to
live
be done.
with your garbage in your house if you want to, that's your choice, and, like, there's no shame in the choices, but at some point, you're gonna need to do this stuff, and it's gonna make a big difference, and you're gonna start seeing those results, but it
It's
all
a
happens. Yeah.
outsourcing is a shortcut
Yes.
to your
Mhm.
goals.
Yeah.
I mean that can be said plainly and without any, like, it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah.
Outsourcing gets you to the results that you want faster. It's a fast pass to get
Yeah.
there.
Agreed.
Um, if
Agreed.
you are prepared to pay for it. Or again, you still need to be doing it though. And
Yeah.
I think that's important. I'm glad that you said that because that is really important. You may not have to do Pinterest, but you absolutely need to do SEO. Like everyone should be doing that. And And you should be doing blogs too. If I'm just going to put it out there, like that's how your business gets seen.
Yeah.
It's how you share your knowledge. It's how people going to your website know you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like when I go to work with somebody, I look at their website,
Yeah.
I look at their blogs, I look what they're saying, I look on social media to see how they're saying it. Do I vibe with them or not? And then we get on a consultation call. So do some due diligence, but make sure that you are doing marketing, period. SEO for sure. Pinterest, I think, should be mandatory, but it's not. So do whatever you need to do, but focus on your business goals. And, if you want that shortcut, then outsourcing can be one of the ways to do that.
Yes, agreed.
All right. Well, have a great day, and we will see you next week.
See you soon. Bye.